Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam review class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam review class. We are discussing from the 10th canto. We'll start the 10th canto today. So far, in around 8 months, we have completed the whole Bhagavatam apart from the 10th canto. And that was a wonderful journey. We got to hear all the 9 topics of Bhagavatam, starting from the creation. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam mutayah manvantara isha anukatha nirodha mukti ashraya. These are the 10 topics of Bhagavatam, and the ashraya is the last topic. That is the shelter. And it is said that all the other 9 topics, they are meant for coming to this conclusion. Dasamasya vishuddhartham navana miha lakshanam varnayanti mahatmanam shrutena arthena cha anjasa. So just to emphasize this 10th topic of ashraya, all the other topics are described. So we have heard all these 9 topics which span over the 11 cantos of Bhagavatam. And today we'll be beginning the 10th canto, which is primarily dealing with the whole Leela which Krishna performed when he was on this earth, on this Bhumandal. So we'll begin with this 10th canto. So 9th canto ended with the description of Krishna's Leela in very short. So Shukadeva Goswami described in the 9th canto about the Chandravamsh and Suryavamsh. And in the Chandravamsh, Shukadeva Goswami, he described starting from this Pururava, and ultimately he described all the dynasty ending in Krishna. And he summarized all the Leela of Krishna in just 2 verses. The whole 10th canto, Shukadeva Goswami summarized in just 2 verses. And that's how the 9th canto ended. So now in this 10th canto, in the beginning, so the first chapter of this 10th canto is entitled as the Advent of Lord Krishna, that is introduction. So in the beginning of this 10th canto, Parikshit Maharaj, first of all, he thanks Shukadeva Goswami for telling him about the Sun dynasty and the Moon dynasty. Kathito vamsa vistaro bhavata soma suryayo Ragyam Chobhayavamshanam Charitam Paramadbhutam. So he's saying, O Shukdev Goswami, you have Kathitaha Vamsha Vistaro. You have described in detail about the Chandra Vamsh and the Surya Vamsh, Soma and Suryayoh. So why the Soma is coming before? So first of all, Parikshit Maharaj is speaking these words to encourage the speaker, to increase the enthusiasm of the speaker. The audience, first of all, should congratulate and describe what they have heard so far. And he is mentioning about the moon dynasty first, Som Suryayoh, because in the dynasty of Soma, Krishna is going to appear. So Shukdev Goswami has described about all these various kings who have come in the Chandra Vamsha and Surya Vamsha. And the Surya Vamsha, the pinnacle was Lord Ramchandra's description. And in Chandra Vamsha, the pinnacle is Krishna's description. So in all the previous descriptions, starting from Swayambhuva Manu and the dynasty of Swayambhuva Manu, which was described in the 4th canto, 3rd canto onwards, they were all great. But the sweetness was not there. They were not so sweet. It had wonderful philosophy, wonderful devotional aspect, but still the sweetness part was a little bit missing. So now with Krishna of the Soma Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha, and Ram of the Surya Vamsha, ultimately the sweetness was attained. So that's why, Parikshit Maharaj is mentioning about this Soma, Soma Suryayo. So Soma he is mentioning first. And then Jiva Goswami says that, Parikshit Maharaj is using the word Shri. Shri Raja Uvacha. Why he is using the word Shri? Because it is used to indicate the great love of Parikshit, the prema which is there in the heart of Parikshit. So now Parikshit Maharaj is making request to Shukdev Goswami, and it is giving him great joy. And he is showing his eagerness by appreciating and encouraging Suta Goswami. He is saying Bhavata. Bhavata means great respect. So then he says, then after this, Parikshit Maharaj makes a request. Yadosha dharma shilasya nitaram mune sattama tatram shenavatirnasya vishnor viryani shamshanah. So he says, O best of the Munis, Muni Sattama, O best of the Munis, you have described the descendants of Yadu dynasty. Yadosha, the dynasty of Yadus, they were dharmashil. They were strictly adherent to the principles of religion. Yadosha dharmashilasya. And you have described the descendants of Yadu. But now, if you desire, then please describe the wonderful activities of Lord Krishna and the activities of Baladev, his Amsha. Tatra Amshena Avatirnasya Vishnu Viryani. Please describe the wonderful activities of Vishnu or Krishna and the activities of Balram. So basically he's saying that please describe everything in detail. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that though Yadu, he disobeyed his father's order. Yayati, when he was cursed by Shukracharya that he will become old. So Yayati, he went to his 5 sons. 4 of them, they didn't agree. And one of them was Yadu. So although Yadu, he rejected his father's order, but because he had such a great exalted devotion unto the Supreme Lord. He is praised in the 9th canto also, and he is praised in the 10th canto also. Yadosya dharmashilasya. So Yadu, he was dharmashila. He knew the principles of religion. So therefore he is saying, please describe the exploits of Vishnu, of that supreme personality whose amsha is Vishnu. You know, amsha avatirnasya Vishnu. Please describe that personality of whom Vishnu is the amsha. Or another meaning, Chakravarti Thakur writes that, please describe the exploits partially. Amsha. Why partially? Because nobody can describe the activities in full. Lord Krishna's activities are unlimited. Nobody can describe the activities of Krishna completely. So therefore, you are requested to describe, the activities in short, not completely. Hare Krishna. So we were discussing about Parikshit Maharaj expressing his gratitude to Shukdev Goswami, and in the second verse he describes how he is expressing the request to Shukdev Goswami that please describe about Krishna who has descended in the Yadu dynasty, and please explain about the various pastimes which Lord has performed as Krishna and Balram also. So he says, Tatra amshena avatirnasya. Please describe exploits partially amshena, because it is not possible to describe the all the pastimes, all the activities of the Lord completely. So Shukdev Goswami, when he hears this, he may think, but all his activities are astonishing. So then Shukdev Goswami says that, then Parikshit Maharaj says, then describe all the activities, So that's what Parikshit Maharaj says in the next verse. Avatirya yador vamshe bhagavan bhuta bhavanaha kritavan yani vishwatma tani no vad vistarat. He says, please describe elaborately about Lord Krishna's pastimes. Describe all the pastimes, the glorious activities and the glorious character of Krishna. Avatirya yador vamshe. So Krishna, he descended in the Yadu dynasty. And who is Krishna? He is Bhuta Bhavanaha. He is well-wisher of all the living entities. So Parikshit Maharaj is now making the request that please explain elaborately all the activities of Krishna. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, if religionists, philosophers and people in general, they just simply hear about Krishna, they will be liberated. So therefore Yado Vamshe means in the dynasty of Yadu, and Bhuta Bhavana means he is the cause of the cosmic manifestation. So Chakravarti Thakur writes another meaning of the word Bhuta Bhavana. He says Krishna is the one who descends to immerse all the jivas, all the bhuta, in prema, in Bhuta Bhavana. He causes bhava. So therefore Bhagavatam supports this. Many places it is described. Snigdha smitekshito dharair vakyair vikramalilaya nilokam ramayamasa murtya sarvangaramyaya. So it is described in this verse that Snigdha smitekshita udarai. So by wonderful speech, Krishna, he attracted the minds of all the living entities. Murtya sarvangaramyaya. So the form of Krishna is all attractive. It is sarvangaramyaya. In the 11th canto also it is described. Samurtya lokalavanya nirmuktya lochanam nrinam garbhista smaratam chittam padaista ikshatam kriya. So Krishna is a reservoir of all the beauty. All beautiful things emanate from him, and he has appeared in this world to steal all the senses. So that's what Krishna is doing when he's appearing in this world. He steals the senses of all the living entities. He attracts the eyes, he attracts the ears by his wonderful flute sound. It is described when Krishna he would play his flute, all the living entities they would become stunned. निज समसखा संगे गोगण चारण रंगे वृंदावने स्वच्छंद विहार यार वेणो ध्वनि सुनि स्थावर जंगम प्राणी पुलक कंप अश्रु वहे धार. So it is described that when Krishna he would go to the forest and he would play his flute, then all the animate and inanimate beings they would become stunned. The trees would stop moving, rivers would stop flowing, stones would melt. So that's how Krishna he attracted the senses of all the living entities. So therefore now Shukdev Parikshit Maharaj is telling, please explain Vistarat, explain extensively all these activities. Since my intelligence is slow to grasp this subject, so please explain extensively. So Jiva Goswami says that actually this verse describes the purpose of the Lord. What is the purpose of the Lord? Bhagavan Bhuta Bhavanaha. So Lord appears to show mercy to all the living entities. So therefore he is saying, is requesting Shukdev Goswami that you please glorify all the activities in detail to bring out this desired purpose. What is that purpose? To show mercy to all the living entities. Do not summarize them. He's saying, do not summarize these activities. As you did in the 9th canto. 9th canto you just summarized in 2 verses. Please don't do it. Please describe in great detail all the pastimes so that everybody can get nourished. And then he speaks a very wonderful famous verse. Nivritta tarshairupagiyamanat bhavaushadashrotra manobhiramat kauttama shloka gunanuvada puman virajyeta vinapashughnat. So he says, Nivritta tarshair upagiyamana. So, Uttama Shloka Gunanuvada, the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in Parampara. Anuvada, Upagiyamana. Upagiyamana means it is performed in Parampara. And such glorification is relished by only those people who are no longer interested in anything material. Nivritta Tarshair. So Tarshay means the desire for the material things. So people who are not interested in anything material, they are attracted by the topics of Krishna. Bhavau Shadashrotra Manobhiramat. So the descriptions of the Lord, they are subject matter for the mind. Manobhiramat. They are subject matter for the mind. And they are the right medicine for the conditioned souls. Bhava Aushadhi. Bhava Aushadhi means they are the right medicine for the conditioned souls who are undergoing repeated birth and death. Kauttama shloka gunanuvada puman virajyeta vinapashughnat. So, who will cease hearing these wonderful pastimes of the Lord unless he is a butcher or he is killing his own self? So Parikshit is telling Shukdev Goswami that I am a jiva bound by this disease of material life. And therefore, how can I cease drinking this medicine? This medicine is this Krishna Katha is the only medicine for me to come out of this material life. He says even those people who are liberated, Liberated souls also glorify your pastimes. Upagiyamana. Upagiya means continuous glorification. So continuous glorification is required to purify the heart. So therefore he says that actually this Krishna Katha is such that neither the speaker nor the listener tires of hearing about the Lord. Shrotra manobhiramat. So this Krishna Katha is very pleasing to the ears and it is very pleasing to the mind also. Who will not get attracted? Only those who are desiring wealth and who are desiring material enjoyment. They will not get attracted to this Krishna Katha. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that actually although there are thousands of people, although in India, people are not so much interested in spiritual life, they have become fallen. But still, even if you arrange any Bhagavat Katha, thousands will come. Because everybody wants to become free from the miseries of the material life. But sense gratifiers, they cannot understand Krishna Katha. And therefore he says that Upagiyamana, Krishna Katha should be heard only from a devotee, not from a professional reciter. Avaishnava mukhodgirnam putam hari kathamritam shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochishta yathapayaha. Just like milk, if it is touched by a serpent, milk is very nourishing. But if it is touched by a serpent, then it becomes poisonous. Similarly, even if Krishna Katha is spoken by a person who is not devotee, then that non-devotee's consciousness will enter Krishna Katha and it will become like a poison. So therefore, a qualified reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam gives the right medicine. Not anybody can give this medicine of Hari Katha. So topics of Bhagavatam and topics of Bhagavad Gita, they both are required for liberation. But two classes of men are not interested in hearing this. Those who are determined to commit suicide and those who are determined to kill cows and animals. So these two types of people, because they are engaged in sense gratification. Anybody who is interested in sense gratification can never hear Hari Katha. Bhoga Ishwarya prasaktanam taya parita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhav na vidhiyate. If a person is attracted to bhoga and Aishwarya, attracted to sense gratification, then he will not develop attraction for Hari Katha. Manushya janama paiya Radha Krishna na bhajiya janiya shuniya vishukhainu. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj is glorifying Shukdev Goswami that you can give right medicine. When discourses on Hari Katha take place between a liberated spiritual master and his disciple, then it is most potent. And in this case, both the speaker and the disciple, they are highly qualified. Shukdev Goswami is a liberated personality, pure devotee, and Parikshit Maharaj is also a liberated personality. So therefore, this Hari Katha is most potent. Then Shukdev Goswami says, 3 verses he describes now, that he should constantly hear Krishna Katha, because not only him, his whole family was dedicated to Krishna. So therefore, I should hear. Please tell me in detail. I don't want to, hear in brief. He says, my grandfather Arjuna, taking the boat of Krishna's lotus feet, he crossed over the ocean of Bhishma and others. They were like the great fish, Timingala. Arjuna, he crossed this great ocean by taking shelter of the boat of Krishna's lotus feet. And then not only my uh, relatives were saved, even I was saved. You know, I should hear about topics of Krishna not only because he is protector of my dynasty, he is my protector also. He protected me in the womb of my mother. Angushthamatram amalam spurata puratamaulinam apivya darshanam shyamam taditavasa samachyutam. Parikshit, when he was in the womb of his mother, he was burnt. Krishna revived him. And Parikshit, he saw this beautiful form of Krishna, having a club in his hand, revolving around, dissipating this fire of Brahmastra. And then he says, actually, Cha. Cha means, he says, you didn't only save only my mother, you didn't even save me, you saved my mother also. Because I was in the womb of my mother was also saved by you. Otherwise, she wished to die. When Abhimanyu died in the battle, she also would have died with him. But because you saved me, that's why my mother was also saved. So therefore, Parikshit is so very grateful. And he says, how can I not hear about Krishna? Because Krishna is my savior. Krishna is the savior of my family. And the purpose of life is Ante Narayana Smriti, as Prabhupada writes in the purport. The purpose of life is Ante Narayana Smriti. So please describe Hari Katha. Then Parikshit Maharaj asks a series of questions in next 4 verses. He says, if Balramji was not transferred from one body to another, then how is it possible that he was first in the womb of Devaki and then in the womb of Rohini? Kindly explain this to me. So that was the first question. How Balramji is son of Devaki also and Rohini also? Second, he asks why Lord was transferred to the house of Nanda Maharaj. Thirdly, why did he live along with his relatives? Where did he live along with his relatives? So there are 2 meanings in this. One is giving up Mahavan. Where did he live with his cowherd friends? Because Nanda Maharaj shifted from Mahavan to, Vrindavan. And secondly, he says, giving up Mathura, where did he live? So these are the 2 things Chakravarti Thakur writes. The next question Parikshit Maharaj asks, what did Krishna do in Vrindavan and Mathura? Why did he kill Kamsa? How many years Krishna lived with the descendants of Vrishni? So Krishna, he is a supreme personality. Although he has no material body, Parikshit Maharaj says, yet he appears as human being. And he lived for many years as a human being. How many years did he live? So Chakravarti Thakur and Prabhupada describes in great detail on this word Maya Manushya. He lived as a human being. Athanyadapi Krishnasya toka charitam manusham rupam asadya tatjati anurundhatah. So Krishna appeared as a human child. Krishna rayate khela sarvottama naralila naravapu tahara swarup gopavesha venukara navakishora natavara naralila hoye anurup. So he says, Krishna, he performed so many pastimes. Krishna rayate khela sarvottam, the best of all the pastimes is Naralila. When Krishna appeared as human and he performed so many of the pastimes as human, that was the best. In this human form, he had a Gopavesh. He was a cowherd boy. Gopavesha Venukara Navakishora Natavara. And he was dressed like a wonderful dramatic dancer. So that is the wonderful nature of Krishna. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking, Krishna appeared as a human. How many years did he live along with the Vrishnis? You know, and how many wives did he marry? How many years did he live in Dwarka? So these are the questions which he asked. And then he expresses his eagerness again to hear about the Hari Katha in detail. एतदन्यच्च सर्वं मे मुने कृष्ण विचेष्टितं वक्तुम् अर्हसि सर्वज्ञ श्रद्धानाय विस्तृतम्. He says, please explain to me etad, whatever I have asked, you explain to me. Anyacha sarvam. So wonderfully says, please explain whatever I have inquired, and please tell me whatever I have not asked. This is the same thing which Parikshit Maharaj asked in the second canto also. In the second canto, 8th chapter, he described around 30 questions. And after asking those questions, he says, please give me the answer of all these questions, and please explain to me whatever I have not asked also. Shraddadhanaya, because I am faithfully hearing. Faith is a very, very important thing. Otherwise, whatever we are doing will be a waste. Shraddadhanaya, vistritam, vistar se bataiye. You don't make it into brief thing. Explain in detail all the pastimes of Krishna. So now, Shukdev Goswami is thinking, he says, but you have not eaten anything, you have not drunk anything for last 7 days, 6 days almost, or 5th or 6th day it must be. So he says, please drink something, rest for a while, eat something. Parikshit Maharaj says, Naeshati dussaha kshunmam tyaktodam api badate pibantam tvanmukham bhoja chutam harikathamritam. He says, my hunger, my thirst, which are extremely difficult to bear by any mortal, they are not troubling me. Why? Pibantam tvanmukham bhoja chutam harikathamritam. Because I am drinking this nectar of Harikatha from your mouth. This nectar of topics of Krishna which is flowing from your mouth is making me completely satisfied. So actually Parikshit Maharaj is saying, it was because of my hunger and thirst, I lost my discrimination and I had put a garland of snake around the neck of that Shamik Rishi. But now that hunger, that thirst is not troubling me. Why it is not troubling? Because I am drinking the nectar of Harikatha. And I want to drink it without any cessation. The present tense is used. I am drinking. Because he says, it is not possible for me to stop drinking. Or after beginning to drink, I feel as if I have not tasted, I have not just started also. Abhi shuru bhi nahi kiya hai, 5-6 days he is hearing and it seems that I have not even started hearing. So that is what is the condition of Parikshit Maharaj. So when a great devotee speaks Bhagavatam, speaks about Krishna like Shukdev Goswami, then the sweetness of Harikatha increases all the more. So Prabhupada writes that actually entire world is suffering from spiritual thirst. That is the only thing which is missing in this world. That is spiritual Krishna consciousness. Unfortunately, people in this world, they are going so much away from the spiritual life. They are unaware of Harikatha. Matirna Krishne parata svatova mitho vipatyeta griha vratanam adanta gobhir vishuta tamishram punah punah charvita charvananam. So people, because they are not interested in Harikatha, they are talking about all the other topics, which is like chewing what is already chewed. Puna punasharvita charvananam. So when Shukdev Goswami he hears this, he actually starts glorifying Parikshit Maharaj first. He says, so Sud Goswami first he says that actually Shukdev Goswami, he became so very happy. He started the description of Hari Katha, which is Kali Kalmasha Ghnam. Kali Kalmasha Ghna means this Krishna Katha is capable of destroying all the bad effects of Kali Yuga. Anartha Upashamam Shakshad Bhakti Yogam Adhokshaje Lokasya Ajanato Vidwam Chakre Satvat Samhitam. Because people in general, they do not know how to come out of this bondage of birth and death. Therefore, Vyasadeva has written this Bhagavatam. Interestingly, in the last verse, in this verse, 14th verse, Shukdev Goswami has already started speaking. But in the 15th verse, again, Sud Goswami is describing that Shukdev Goswami has started speaking again. Why? Because there were some listeners who were listening, but others were inattentive. So just to make everybody aware, now Krishna Katha is going to begin. Please be attentive. So Sud Goswami is describing that actually Shukdev Goswami is emphasizing that now Krishna Katha is going to begin. Please be attentive. So in the 15th verse he says, Samyak Vyavasita Buddhi Tavarajarshi Sattama Vasudeva Kathayam Te Tajjata Naishtiki Ratihi. He says, O Parikshit, it is certain that your intelligence is very well established in spiritual understanding, very fixed. Samyak Vyavasita Buddhi, your intelligence is very perfectly established in Harikatha. Tava Rajarshi Sattama, you are Rajarshi. Sattama, you are the best of all the saintly kings. So this is very important. How one's intelligence becomes established in Krishna Katha? He says, Vasudeva Kathayam Te Tajjata Naishtiki Rati. Because you are greatly attracted to the topics of Lord Vasudeva, therefore your mind has become completely fixed. Then he says, three types of people are benefited. When Krishna Katha is going on, three people get benefited. Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Strain Punatihi Vaktaram Prachakam Shrotrim Tatpada Salilam Yatha. So whenever Vasudeva Katha is going on, Trin Punati, three types of people are purified. Who are they? Vakta, the person who is speaking. Shrota, a Prachakam, person who asks questions. And Shrota, one who hears. So these three type of people, they get purified when Krishna Katha is going on. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that, topics of Hari, they purifies three types of people, just like Charnamrit of Shaligram. Pad Salila means the Charnamrit of the Shaligram or deities. Three types of people are purified by taking Charnamrit. Those who put it on their head, those who drink it, or those who do all these both things. Or it also means, just like Ganga purifies the three planetary systems, heavenly, earthly, and lower planetary systems. Mother Ganga flows in the heaven as Mandakini Ganga, on the earth as Bhagirathi, and in the lower planetary systems as Bhogavati. So, and similarly, the topics of Hari purify the speaker, inquirer, and hearer. And then Chakravarti Thakur says that of these three types of people, it is most purifying for the speaker, then the inquirer, and then the listener, in that order. So then, after describing the glories of Hari Katha, glorifying Parikshit Maharaj, then he actually begins the story. He says, once Mother Earth, she approached Lord Brahma because she was overburdened by the demoniac kings. And Mother Earth, where did she go? She didn't go to Satyaloka. Because Satyalok जाने में बहुत time लग जाएगा नहीं? And we know the story that when the father of Revati, Revat, when he went to Satyaloka to ask Brahmaji for a nice bride, for nice husband for his daughter. So Brahmaji was seeing a dance performance by Gandharvas and Apsaras. There were two Gandharvas, Haha and Huhu. So they were singing and Apsaras were dancing. So Brahmaji so this person, Revat, had to wait for 5 minutes, few minutes. By that time, 3 ages passed by, Satya, Treta, Dwapar. And that's how then Brahmaji said, now you go and marry your daughter to Balram. So naturally, Earth could not go to Satyaloka. So then where did she go? So she went, we have discussed in the 5th canto, that on top of Sumeru mountain, there is a city of Brahmaji also. So Mother Earth went there. And Earth, she assumed the form of a cow, and she approached Lord Brahma. And she described her pitiable condition. Then Brahma, when he heard the distressed situation of Mother Earth, he, along with Lord Shiva and all the Devatas, they went to the ocean of milk, approached the shore of milk ocean. So Jiva Goswami says that actually Vishnu has an abode in the milk ocean, but these Devatas headed by Brahma, they cannot go to the palace of Vishnu. They had to just stand and pray on the shore of this milk ocean. Tatra gatva jagannatha devadevam vrishakapim purusham purushuktena upatasthe samahitah. So after reaching the shore of this milk ocean, Devatas, they worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How did they worship? By offering the prayers of Purusha Sukta. We heard about the prayers of Purusha Sukta earlier also in the 2nd canto. So that's how they started worshipping the Lord. So because Brahmaji, when Mother Earth, she went to Brahma and expressed her pitiable condition, he thought, this is not my job. Ye mera department nahi hai. So he's thinking, Vishnu's job is maintenance. My job is creation. How can I help? That's why, thinking this, for the job of maintenance, we have to go to Vishnu. So Brahma, he took everybody and went to Lord Vishnu. Then, as Brahmaji was praying to Lord, he heard in trance. He did not see the Lord. He heard the sound vibration. So Brahmaji also was not able to see the Lord. And then whatever Brahmaji heard, he repeated that to the Devatas. He said, "O Devatas, Lord already knows the situation of Mother Earth. He knows the condition. So therefore, and he has told that he will do the needful. But he has requested all of you also to appear in the dynasty of Yadu and Vrishnis." And he says, Krishna, with his full potency, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he will appear personally as Lord Vasudev, the son of Vasudev. But what you should do, you should also appear, and all the wives of the Devatas, they should also appear in order to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So that is the message which Lord gave to Brahmaji. So Chakravarti Thakur, he gives a wonderful understanding about the word Surastriya. Surastriya means the female, the wives of Devatas. It also means that the expansions of Krishna's eternal female companions, they were already there in the heavenly planet. So that's how Krishna told Brahmaji that all these wives of Devatas, who are actually the expansions of goddess of fortune, they should also appear. Then he says, Brahmaji continues, he says, previous to the appearance of Lord Krishna, Lord Sankarshan, the primary expansion of Lord, he will also appear. And then he says, the Lord's potency called Mahamaya or Vishnu Maya, she will also appear. So Chakravarti Thakur writes in detail, what is this Vishnu Maya? He says there are two types of Vishnu Maya, Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. And different pastimes are performed by different types of different Mayas. Some activities are performed by Yoga Maya and some activities are performed by Mahamaya. Which activity is performed by Yoga Maya? So he says, it was Yoga Maya who took the seventh child from the womb of Devaki and shifted it to Rohini. Because Mahamaya cannot touch the Lord. Only Yoga Maya can do it. Mahamaya has no control over Balramji. And then it was Yoga Maya who put Mother Yashoda to sleep. That's how Vasudev could exchange children. So therefore, so Yashoda's sleep was not the manifestation of Mahamaya, it was manifestation of Yoga Maya. And then he says, the bewilderment of husbands and mother-in-laws in Ras Leela. When Ras Leela happened, so husbands and mother-in-laws, they were bewildered and they could not stop the gopis. It was performed by Yoga Maya, not by Mahamaya. Then what were the activities of Mahamaya? He says, the form of Devaki's daughter, which was to be killed by Kamsa, it was Mahamaya. It was Durga Devi. That was performed by Durga, Mahamaya. And then, demons like Duryodhan and Shalva, they were covered by the Mahamaya potency. They were not covered by Yoga Maya. That's why they could not understand Krishna's supremacy. Brajvasis also were not accepting Krishna as God. Were they also under Mahamaya? No. They were under Yoga Maya. And then he says, actually, some activities, some pastimes, they were neither under Yoga Maya nor under Mahamaya. Which were those pastimes? When Krishna, he opened his mouth and showed Virat Rupa, Vishwarup to Yashoda Mai. And when Nanda Maharaj, he saw Krishna in Varun Lok getting lots of prayers and offerings, all these things did not affect the affection of Vasudev or Yashoda, Nanda or Yashoda. So these activities were not performed by Yogamaya or Mahamaya. These were performed by the love. The extreme Vatsalya of Nanda and Yashoda, didn't allow this awe and reverence to come. Then, so Brahmaji, he continues. So he says that, so after he says that, okay, now Balramji will appear, Yogamaya will appear, and then after this, Brahma, he went to his abode along with the Devatas. And then now, Shukdev Goswami starts the description of Krishna's appearance in the house of Vasudev. So he says, formerly there was a king called Shurasena, who was the chief of all the Yadus. So he had gone to live in the city of Mathura. Therefore, this place is also called as Mathur or Shurasena. So he says, this Mathura, it became the capital of all the Yadus. And in this Mathura, Krishna resides eternally. So Prabhupada writes an elaborate purport about this Krishna's eternal residence in Mathura. And he also describes the glories of Navdeep Dham. And then he says, Vasudev, he was from Shura dynasty. He married Devaki. And after the marriage, he was taking Devaki to his palace. He mounted on his chariot and he was returning. Brother of Devaki, he was a very, very cruel, demoniac personality called Kamsa. But he had intense affection for his sister Devaki. So Kamsa was son of Ugrasena. In order to please his sister Devaki, so on the occasion of her marriage, he himself took the reins of the chariot and he became the chariot driver. And it was a royal, magnificent procession. The chariot of Devaki and Vasudeva, it was surrounded by thousands, hundreds of golden chariots. And Kamsa, he gave lots of dowry, 400 elephants, 1,000 horses, 10,000 horses, 1,800 chariots, and 200 maidservants, fully decorated with ornaments. As Kamsa was taking his sister, a unembodied voice spoke. And as they were going, many auspicious sounds were getting resounded, But suddenly, an unembodied voice spoke. "O foolish Kamsa, you foolish rascal, the 8th child of this woman whom you are carrying will kill you." So the 8th child is described as Ashtamo Garbha. Garbha is used to describe child. So it was not described Ashtamo Putra, Ashtamo Garbha. Why Garbha was used? Because Garbha is used to describe that it can be a son also, it can be a daughter also. Don't discriminate. Why it was like that? Actually, when Devatas, they saw the affection of Kamsa towards Devaki, they got confused and they became fearful. They started thinking that if Kamsa becomes so very affectionate to Devaki, then how will Lord appear? So Kamsa may not do the necessary actions for the appearance of the Lord. So therefore, the Devatas, just to enrage Kamsa, they spoke very harshly. "Oh, foolish Kamsa," very harshly they spoke. So when Kamsa, he heard this Akashvani, immediately, because he was already a condemned personality, very sinful, envious, cruel, it is described Kulpam Sanaha. He was condemned personality in the Bhoja dynasty. Immediately he caught hold of the hairs of Devaki with his left hand, withdrew his sword, and he was about to sever the head of Devaki. Interestingly, he had been so affectionate just few moments back. But when he saw his own self-interest at risk, immediately he forgot all affection for her, and he was ready to kill Devaki. Prabhupada writes, this is the nature of the demons. As long as my self-interest is satisfied, I will help others. But as soon as something happens to my self-interest, I can do anything. That's how the demoniac people are. Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. So these verses of Bhagavad Gita, they describe very graphically the mentality of a demoniac personality. Vasudev, when he sees this condition of Devaki, he started speaking just to pacify Kamsa. So he said, this Vasudev is described as Mahabhaga. Why he is described as Mahabhaga? Because Mahabhaga means he had the capacity to pacify anybody. Even tigers and snakes could not do any harm to a personality who is most fortunate and who possesses all the good qualities. So therefore Vasudeva is described as Mahabhaga. So Vasudeva, he remained sober, unagitated, very peacefully he thought of what to do. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that now what Vasudeva is going to do, he is going to enlighten Kamsa gradually. First, by making him affectionate, by giving lots of reasoning, and by using the Sama and Bheda. So what is Sama? Sam means conciliation. So Vasudeva is going to use 5 things. He will refer his relationship with Devaki, and then he will tell what will be the advantage if you don't kill Devaki. Then how you will be helped if you don't kill Devaki, and then he will glorify Kamsa also. That is called Sam. Bhed means creating dissension, creating a fear in this life and about the next life. So now Vasudeva is going to use the strategy of Sam and Bhed. He says, my dear Kamsa, you are the pride of your family. Started glorifying Kamsa. You are Bhoja Yashastkara. You are the pride of your family. Then he uses Bheda. How can you kill your sister? On the day of marriage, you know what will happen? You are such a famous personality. You will lose your fame in this life. And after this life, because you have killed innocent women, you will go to hell. But Kamsa had no effect, no change. Vasudeva changes his strategy. He started giving logic. He speaks 6 verses. He says, O Kamsa, why are you fearful? A great warrior like you, a courageous warrior like you should not be fearful of death. Because anybody who has taken birth has to die, either today or after 100 years. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityor dhruvam janma mritasya cha. That is going to happen. And then he says, actually, death does not mean you lose enjoyment. What is death? Death means the 5 elements of the body, they mix in the nature. But the soul does not die. The jiva accepts another body. Why are you lamenting? And then he gives 2 analogies. He says, just like a person when he walks, he puts one feet, makes the feet very stable, then only lifts the another leg. Just like a worm, you must have seen worms going from one leaf to another leaf. So the worm, what it does, first makes himself stable on the another leaf, then only it leaves the previous leaf. Similarly, whatever we do in this life, we are making our next body. And after the next body is made, then only this body is left. He gives the analogy from the everyday life. He says, in the dream, what happens? We forget our present body and we acquire a completely different body. Kamsa may think, okay, it is true that one will get a body, but what is a guarantee that I will get a body of a king? Vasudev says, one gets a body according to the condition of mind. Whatever the thoughts one acquires throughout the life, he gets a body according to that. So mind completely covers the identity of a soul. Prabhupada writes, this 43rd verse, Prabhupada writes, this verse gives a very good example by which to understand the different positions of the eternal spiritual soul in the material world and how the soul takes on different bodies. So very wonderful example is given in the 43rd verse. Just like the various stars and luminaries and the moon, they are fixed in their position. But when their reflection falls on the oil or any liquid, when the oil moves, the reflection of the luminary also moves. Luminary is fixed. Similarly, the soul never gets affected by any of the material things. Only because of the mental conceptions, living entity, the soul takes different bodies. And then he says, by killing Devaki, you know what will happen? You will obstruct your enjoyment. And he says, Vasudev says, actually you are creating a hellish body by killing Devaki. Kamsa may say, look, you have explained to me that one gets a body according to karma, right? If you have knowledge of this, why are you stopping me to kill Devaki? Why are you making efforts to protect your body? Everything is happening by karma, na? And I don't have the knowledge of all these things. So I will make efforts to protect my body. So Vasudev says, even if you cannot do pious acts, but still you should not put others into misery. Don't kill others for your own pleasure. Vasudev uses the third thing, Bheda. He says, if you are envious, if you are not acting for the welfare of people in general, putting others in distress, you will suffer. Because anybody who puts others in distress, he suffers. He has to be fearful. And then, after saying everything, now Vasudev praises Kamsa. He says, O Kamsa, you are so very merciful. And Devaki, who is she? She is your younger sister. She is Tava Anuja, your younger sister. She is a Bala. She is an innocent woman. She is Kripana, completely dependent on you. She is Putri Ko Upama. She is like your daughter. She is under your affection, Kalyani. And you are Dinavatsala. And you are very compassionate to poor. So therefore, please don't kill her. In spite of hearing all these things, Kamsa was not pacified. Then Vasudev started thinking, what to do now? Kamsa is still not pacified. He is neither terrified by the fear of the future nor pacified by the glorification. So Vasudev, he is thinking, no problems. I am Anakdundubi. Anakdundubi means when I took birth, the Devtas, they resounded Dundubi, So that's why he was named as Anakdundubi. Dundubi means drums. So he says, I am Anakdundubi. Nothing inauspicious can happen to me. Let me make another plan. Vasudev starts thinking. He says, Vasudev, now he's thinking, okay, I cannot use strength, but I can use my intelligence. And as long as one has intelligence, one should avoid death. One should not die voluntarily, right? If death is avoidable, then you should do it. Try your best. Vasudev thinks, let me save Devaki first. That's what I'll do. He silently speaks this verse, 50th verse. Vasudev is thinking, by delivering all my sons to Kamsa, I will save the life of Devaki. Perhaps it may happen that Kamsa will die before my sons take birth, or as it was predicted by that Akashvani, if one of my sons kill Kamsa, then the problem is solved. So what I should do now? Let me promise to hand over my sons to Kamsa. And if he dies before that, then I shall have nothing to fear. So then he says, when a living entity accepts a body, he leaves aside another body. So there is no reason that there is no reason other than unseen destiny. Everything is happening by the karma. So why should I fear? So thinking all this, Vasudev, he submitted his proposal to Kamsa. Kamsa, when he heard this, because Vasudev, he was internally very pained, suffering in too much anxiety, but externally he was smiling. He said, "Oh, best of the sober personalities, you have nothing to fear from Devaki. The cause of death is my son, her sons. I promise you that when she gives birth to sons, I will deliver all of them to you." Now Shukdev Goswami says, when Kamsa, he heard this, he was pacified. He refrained from killing Devaki. And Vasudev, he became so very pleased with Kamsa, he glorified him all the more. And then they returned to their house. So while they were returning, just now a great calamity has happened. Somehow Vasudev Devaki was saved. But still, Vasudev, he entered his house in a grand manner with all pomp, music, fanfare. Why? So that Kamsa may not doubt the intentions of Vasudev. Then, each year after this, Devaki gave birth to one child. So she gave birth to 8 sons and a daughter named Subhadra. When the first child was born, with great pain, Vasudev, he named that child Kirtiman. He did Namkaran Sanskar also. Named that child Kirtiman, and he went and handed over this child to Kamsa. And somebody may think, how is this possible? What was the thought process of Vasudev? How could he give his own child with his own hands to Kamsa? Kim dosano sadhunam vidusham kim apekshitam kim akaryam kadaryanam dustyajam krim dhritatmanam. What is painful for a saintly person who adheres to the truth? He can do anything. Is it not intolerable? How could Vasudev offer his own son It is not reasonable. Somebody may say, it is not reasonable for Vasudev to offer his son. Vidusham kim apekshitam. How could there not be independence for pure devotees who know the Supreme Lord as the substance? Vasudev, he knew that my eighth son is, Krishna is going to be my eighth son. I am ready to suffer the pain of seeing my own child being killed in front of me. How could Vasudev do it? You know, he could have avoided, giving birth to children. Vasudev, he thought, no, I cannot do it because Krishna has to appear in this world. So therefore, I will bear the pain. Kimakaryam kadaryanam. How can Kamsa kill a child? Small child. How can Kamsa be so wicked? Kimakaryam kadaryanam. What deeds are forbidden for people who are wicked? They can do anything. So with all these thoughts going on, he takes his child, hands over to Kamsa. Kamsa, when he sees such truthful nature of Vasudev, he becomes very happy. He spoke to Vasudev. He said, "Oh Vasudev, you may take back your child. I have nothing to fear. With this child, take your child and go home." According to the, Akashvani, eighth child is going to kill me. I am concerned with that eighth child. You can take back this child. Vasudev, when he heard this, he became so very happy, but he could not trust the character of Kamsa. He went back. Now, when Kamsa gave back this child to Vasudev, Narad, he became disturbed. He could see that the appearance of the Lord would be blocked if Kamsa didn't kill the children. Therefore, he was coming from Swarga, so he sent his messenger to Kamsa. Kamsa, he came out of the city. He came out of Mathura and he welcomed Narad Muni very nicely and made him sit on a very nice throne, gave him lots of presentations. Narada, he became very happy. He said, "You have worshipped me very nicely, therefore I am become very pleased with you. I will reveal you a secret, which is very confidential. I am coming from Sumeru. I went with some of the Devatas and we went to a place where Brahmaji was doing the conference with other Devatas. Let me tell you what they were discussing. They were discussing about the plan how to destroy the demoniac kings headed by you. You have a sister, Devaki. Her eighth son is going to kill you." Somebody may say, why Narad Muni has to do all these things? Chakravarti Thakur gives 7 reasons why Narad Muni did that. He says, in order to derive the personal joy of seeing the Lord, because Lord has to appear. And Narad Muni did not want to, hinder this process. Secondly, he wanted to give joy to the Devatas, because Kamsa was creating such trouble, havoc for everybody. Therefore, he wanted Lord to appear very fast. Thirdly, he wanted to accomplish this mission of slaying of Kamsa. Fourthly, he wanted to shower himself with the intense devotion of Vasudeva and Devaki when they would serve Krishna. When Krishna would appear, Devaki and Vasudeva, they would give all the love and blessings. And Narad Muni would be so very blessed by having that darshan. Then, in order to increase the eagerness to see the Lord, he did that. Also, in order to please Devaki and Vasudev, because Devaki and Vasudev, they also wanted Lord to appear as soon as possible. And he wanted to make Kamsa favorable for his, by presenting his false friendship, so that Kamsa will also reveal his plan. So Narad Muni came and he spoke all these confidential words. When Narad Muni, he spoke all this, Kamsa, he became so very fearful, his fear increased. And he started his atrocities again. After Narad Muni departed, Kamsa thought that all the members of Yadu dynasty are devatas. Any of the children of Devaki may be Lord Vishnu. So what he did? He arrested Devaki and Vasudev, chained them with iron shackles, suspecting each of the son of Devaki as Vishnu. He killed all the 6 children. Who were these 6 children? It is described in Harivamsha that these 6 children, in the past life, they were the sons of Kalnemi, and they were grandsons of Hiranyakashipu. So this 6 sons, they did tapasya. Without knowledge of Hiranyakashipu, they did tapasya and pleased Brahma. And they got benedictions that they will not be killed by demigods, nagas, yakshas, siddhas, charanas, gandharvas, humans, all that. They went to Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu, he was angry. He said, how can you go and do tapasya without my permission? I have no longer any affection for you. You go away. You have gone to worship Brahma without my permission because you wanted to become immortal. I curse you. I curse you that your father will kill you in your next life. So Kalnemi became Kamsa and he killed his 6 sons. Somebody may ask, Parikshit Maharaj may ask that, was Kamsa not ashamed of killing small children? Shukdev Goswami says, greedy kings can do anything. They can kill even their mother, father, brother, or even friends for selfish motivation. In this sequence, mother is mentioned first because mother is the person who invokes the most affection. A greedy person can do anything. And Prabhupada gives the example of Aurangzeb, how he killed his brother and nephews and arrested his father. And then Shukdev Goswami says that in his previous birth, Kamsa was Kalnemi and he was killed by Vishnu. So Kamsa, he became now, after getting this information from Narada, he became envious of all the members of Yadu dynasty. And finally, he imprisoned even his own father, Ugrasena, and started ruling over. So this is the end of the first chapter. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Anybody has any questions? You can please ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, the philosophy which was spoken by Hiranyakashipu when Hiranyaksha was killed, and the philosophy which is spoken by Vasudev is the same?
Yeah, the philosophy is same. Many times the demons also, they speak the wonderful philosophy which are, and if you remove the person, if anybody reads the philosophy which is spoken by Hiranyakashipu without knowing the person, he will think, wow, such a great, wonderful philosophy. But we should understand that demons, although they know the philosophy, but they don't follow it. They use it just for their selfish interests. That's why Hiranyakashipu, although he was knowing soul is eternal and Vishnu is the supreme, he was not meaning it. He was just using the philosophy to pacify his relatives. That's why we know Ravan was a great learned personality. All the demoniac kings, they know the scriptures very well, but still they don't follow it. That is the difference, between a person who is a dharmic and a dharmic. A irreligious demoniac personality, he knows the scriptures, but he does not follow it. That is the case. Okay?
Okay,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji,
Yes, ma'am.
why Narad Muni wanted to interfere? Because Lord's time of appearance is fixed, and he would be coming when he was supposed to. So then why he means told Kamsa that any child will be killed? And
Okay. So, just like if the rains are about to come, so if somebody is using umbrella, so you may say, "Arey, rains are anyways about to come, and everybody is going to, become wet only. Why you are using umbrella?" So that is not the right way, and we have to try our best. Just because some prediction is made, so we should not just say, "Okay, it will happen." We have to endeavor, and then what will happen is not in our hands. So Narad Muni wanted to just accelerate the process. He wanted to show that I want Lord to appear, you know. And who knows that this is not in the plan of the Lord? That's how things must have been planned. So this is a very very important thing to understand, that when people say, okay, jab humko Bhagwan bulayenge, we know the story. There was a lady who was a devoted follower of God. She had full faith, and one day there was intense rain, and there was a flood, and people were coming, and because the house was getting filled with water. So a person came and said, oh lady, please come, otherwise you will drown. She said, no, I am waiting for God to come. Then the water rose up first floor and then went up to terrace. And then helicopter came, and they said, oh, please come, otherwise you'll drown. She said, no, I'm waiting for God. So then actually she died. She went to, heaven, and she asked, God, you didn't save me? God said, I sent 3 times people to save you. So therefore, when people think, no, everything is already destined, it will happen. But our endeavor also counts. So therefore, Narad Muni was doing his endeavor. It was not that, okay, Bhagwan ki ichha thi aane ki to aa hi jayenge. That is not the case. We have to endeavor. And then Krishna will reciprocate with that. Okay.
okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much. We'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.